And welcome, my dear students, for grade 10 elite to today's session. Today's session is like a bonus video that I've planned from my side on chapter 8 calculus. So this is part 6 of the end of term exam coverage for grade 10 elite math students. A must watch video. Watch it till the end. It's going to be a pretty long one, but it will 100% cure all your doubts. It will resolve all your queries related to calculus and related to your end of term coverage questions. So let's dive into the video. And before we start, a humble reminder, a kind request from my side to make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're watching the videos, finding them useful, it is going to really help you, and it is going to really motivate you to motivate myself also for creating more and more videos for all of you. Okay, let's solve this graphical question on limit. Here you can see the graph is given, so you need to evaluate these limits graphically using the graph. So let's go to first the graph of f of x. This is for f of x, this is for g of x. So these two limits we'll be solving using this graph, and these two limits we'll be solving using this graph. So let's solve them one by one. Limit x approaching to -6. So we have to go to the point -6. This is where the point is on the graph. So at this point, what is the limit? So you see from the graph, the limit is approaching to point 4 on the y-axis. So this limit is going to be limit x approaching to -6 f of x. Here you note that the left hand limit and the right hand limit both are equal to 4. So this limit is going to be equal to 4. Next point, limit x approaching to +4. So this is x equal to +4, the point on the x-axis. So at this point, the value of the function is defined to be 2. You can see, now let's see the left hand limit. Left hand limit is coming out to be -6. Right hand limit is also coming out to be -6. Both are equal. However, at the value x equal to 4, the function is undefined and takes the value 2. So that doesn't change your answer. If you see limit x approaching to 4 f of x, the left and right hand limit are equal to -6. So this limit is -6. Now let's come to the other part for these two, for gx. So for x approaching to 4, at the point x equal to 4, let's see what is happening. The graph on the left hand limit is going to above plus infinity. On the right also it is going to plus infinity, and at the value there's a vertical asymptote. So this will be equal to plus infinity. It's an infinite limit. At x approaching to -6 means this part, the left hand limit is going up towards plus infinity. The right hand limit is coming down, which is going to minus infinity. So both are different. So this limit does not exist. Okay, so that's the solution. Now let's check the detailed answer key for these 4 questions. So as you check for question 29, the limit is 4. You can read the solution and the answer. For question 30, the limit is -6. I've already explained you how it is. For question 31, the answer is plus infinity, and this limit does not exist for question 32. So this is your answer key for question 29 to 32 on page 139. Let's do some more end of term questions. Okay, now let's solve these questions. Now these are algebraic limits, so we are going to use methods of algebra. If you see these questions, all of them have quadratic expressions of degree 2 here, here, in the denominator, in the numerators. All of these kind of questions, remember, are going to be solved using factorization. You are going to factor the numerator denominator. Usually some terms do cancel and the question simplifies. Even for these two questions, we are going to do the method of factorization for finding the limits. Now let's come to the radical functions where you see this radical symbol. So if you have radical symbol in the denominator like this, like this, like this, all of these questions are going to be solved using the method of rationalization. So before we even solve these questions, I'm helping you with some tips and tricks to remember how to do the factors. Now some of them will be solved using algebra, so we are going to do a lot of algebraic method. So like for example, your difference of square identity, a square minus b square is a plus b multiplied with a minus b. So we are going to use that factorization also. We are going to do rationalization. So all of these questions will be solved using these methods. So let's now start solving them one by one. We'll begin with question 23. Okay, so let's solve answer 23 first. We are going to do, as I told you, the factorization. So we first need the factors of 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. Now already on my channel, I have a lot of videos which I've made on factorization. I will put the link in the description box. Make sure you follow them. So here you are comparing it with ax squared plus bx plus c standard form. So how much is a? 2, how much is b? Minus 5, how much is c? Minus 12. The strategy that we are going to use here, the method is middle term splitting. We are going to use this for factorization. You can refer to my videos how to do that. So if the two roots are x1 and x2, then their sum is the middle term, which is the value of b, and their product is the product of a with c, so 2 with minus 12. Don't forget the signs. So you need to find factors of minus 24. So how can you get two numbers which when added gives you minus 5 and which when multiplied gives you minus 24? That's what you need to think. So let's find some factors of 24. So 12 with 2 gives you 24, so one should be negative, but when you add them you don't get minus 5, so this is not a factor. Next one, you can take 6 and 4, so minus 6 and 4, when you add them you don't get this, so not a factor. Next is 8 with 3, so minus 8 plus 3, yes, you get it right, so these are going to be the factors. So what we do now, we go back to the first equation and factor it using the numbers. So minus 8 and plus 3, I break the middle term minus 5x into these two parts. So this is what you get. So let's take common factor 2x, x minus 4, common factor plus 3, x minus 4. Now x minus 4 is common, you can take it together and you're left with 2x plus 3. So this is the factorization of the numerator. Now let's find the limit. Limit x approaching to 4. Now numerator I'm going to replace by the factors. Even if you have been seeing my 30 days of calculus videos, you will find a lot of questions similar like this one there. So now the limit cancels and your direct substitution does not fail. Before, if you do direct substitution, you were getting 0 by 0 or indeterminate form. You cannot do a limit for that, so that's why you go to factorization. I hope factorization you have revised. If you want to revise more, watch my video. And now you just put the limit. So 2 times replace x with 4, that's the limit. So your answer is 8 plus 3, which is 11. So the answer for question 23 is 11. For question number 24, I have already told you, you will do rationalization in which you multiply the numerator and denominator with conjugate. So if there is negative sign, you just multiply with positive sign. If there is positive sign, you multiply with negative sign. So that's what rationalization means. Then you combine the denominator using a plus b multiplied with a minus b as a square minus b square. So in the denominator, the term will become x plus 1 minus 1, which is only x. So that way you will simplify the term. And now let's check from the answer key the answer of question 23 to 34. Okay, so as you see, answer is 11 for question 23. They have directly given you the factors and I've explained you how to reach to this factor using middle term splitting. Next one, they did rationalization and cancel x with x. So you are left with this limit and you put x here. So the answer that will get you'll get is 8. Similarly, you do the factorization of numerator. So you have to factor x square plus 4x minus 5. So what are the two factors? The factors that will add to give you 4 and multiply to give you minus 5 would be x plus 5 and x minus 1. So when you multiply, you get minus 5. When you add, you get 4. So you simplify, cancel the term, do direct substitution, and answer is 3 for question 25. Okay, so here also in question 26 to 28, let's apply the concept of factorization and rationalization. So for this question, you will do the rationalization and you will multiply by the conjugate. So here the sign given is negative, square root of x minus 3, radical sign. So its conjugate would be plus 3. So here you are going to multiply numerator and denominator with square root x plus 3, and then you combine using a plus b multiplied with a minus b as a square minus b square. So the square of square root of x is x, the square of 3 is 9. So absolute value x plus 3 and absolute value x minus 3 in the numerator becomes x minus 9. So x minus 9, x minus 9 gets cancelled, khalas, and you're left with limit x approaching to 9, 1 over absolute value x plus 3. Now you do direct substitution. Where there is x, put the value of 9, so you will get your answer as 1 by 6. Let's do question 27. Here we are going to use factorization again. So you factor the numerator, factor the denominator, use the concept of middle term splitting. So for example, for 4x square plus 21x plus 5, you need two numbers such that sum is 21 and product is 20. So what are those numbers? Definitely those numbers are factors of 20. So you can take either 5 and 4. So 5 multiplied with 4 is 20, 5 plus 4 is 9, so it will not work. Let's take some other number. So 10 and 2, product is 20, when you add it is 12, again it will not work. Let's take 20 and 1, yes it will work, when you add it you get this. So 20 and 1 are the breakup of this. So you can write 4x square plus 20x plus x plus 5. Take 4x common, you are left with x plus 5 plus 1, x plus 5. So the factors are x plus 5 and 4x plus 1. In a similar way, you can do the factorization of denominator. X plus 5 and x plus 5 will cancel, and you are left with limit x approaching to minus 5 of numerator by denominator. Now you do direct substitution and get your answer as this. Now you similarly do question 28, you do the rationalization, the conjugate has changed sign, so 5 plus square root of 18 plus x, do the algebra and your answer is this. So the answer key for 26 to 28 is given here. Let's see the answer key for more questions. Okay, so for question 29 to 32, you have the answer key here. The answer of the first question is 4. The next question is 1 by 2. Next question is this, and next question is this. If you see here, you have radical signs. So you are going to do this question by rationalization. And the conjugate would be absolute value will be square root of 6 plus x plus 2. So the sign will change, do the algebra, cancel and get your answer. Here you will again do factorization. How do you know you will do factorization? Because here in the numerator and denominator you have quadratic functions, means degree 2 functions. So it will have two factors and you cancel one factor and simplify. Again rationalization, again factorization. So do it and check your answer. Last two questions are question 33 and 34. Again here you see the radical sign. So you are going to find the conjugate. The conjugate of the given question would be, so in question it is minus 3, so the conjugate would be plus 3. So you multiply numerator denominator with that, use a square minus b square as a plus b multiplied with a minus b, simplify and your answer comes out to be 1 by 6. In an exactly similar way, the answer of the next question is 1 by 8. So this is how you do the limit of the factorization and rationalization. So that was the answer key for question 23 to 34. Okay, next we move to the limit of each sequence. Here the questions 49 to 58 from your math book, page 151, are important for your end of term coverage. The trick that we will use for limit of sequences, we divide by maximum power of variable, and you divide the numerator and denominator. Means what? Look at one question here. In this question, what is the maximum power? 3. So you will divide each term by n to the power 3. What is the maximum value here? 2. The power is 2, so you divide by n2. What is the maximum power here? 2 again, so you divide by n2, and so on. When you do that for each question, you'll be able to find limit of sequence. So let's solve some questions one by one. Let's solve question 53 and 55, and in a similar way you will do other questions. So let's do the first one. So here, what is the maximum power? N square. So you divide for this sequence all terms by n square. So I divide this by n square, this by n square, denominator also I do the same thing. So what are we left with? If you see, some terms will cancel, this and this will collapse. So you have 12 plus 2 over n square divided by 6 minus 1 over n square. Now as n goes to infinity, okay, as your n tends to infinity, 1 by n tends to 0. So this term and this term will go to 0. So what are you left with? 12 by 6, which is 2. Okay. Let's solve question 55 now. So in this one, you see there is multiplication involved. There is a term outside and inside bracket. So let's first multiply everything. So an will be 5n times n plus 1, and in denominator you have 2n square. So let's calculate maximum power. So if you see now, we have simplified. The maximum power is n square. So we divide each term, we divide by n square. So what do you get? 5n square over n square plus 5 over this over 2n square over n square. So n square will cancel. Here only one n will cancel, one is left. So you are left with 5 plus 5 over n over 2. Now as n goes to infinity, 1 by n goes to 0. So now if you take limit n going to infinity an equal to limit n going to infinity 5 plus 5 by n by 2, then we can say 5 by n also is going for limit 0. So this goes to 5 divided by 2 equal to 2.5. So that's the limit of this sequence. Let's check other answers now from the answer key. So if you see carefully, for question 49, the answer is infinity. The limit goes to infinite. For question 50, the answer is 0. For question 51, the answer is -4. And for question 52, the answer is 0. Already solved question 53, so we know answer is 2. We've already solved question 55, so we know answer is 5 by 2. In a similar way, for 54, the answer is infinite, and all this is given in the answer key. In a similar way, solve the following questions, and for 56 the answer would be 1. For 57 the answer would be 1 by 4, and for 58 the answer is infinity. All these answers are provided in the answer key, which I have already put in my Google Drive. So please download the answer key, and in detail you can have a look at the solutions. All for today's session. Stay glued to my channel for the next part. and thank you for watching. The next part will be coming very soon, inshallah. And if you've liked the video and found it useful, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification about coming videos. Until then, this is Ms. Ruchika signing off from today's session. See you in my next video. Bye students.